Alright, let's just dive on into this first deck, huh? Trying out a new M21 card here in a Feather Shell Stormwing Entity. Thank you, Vita, for the 21 months. Welcome back. This is a 3/3 Flying Prowess for 5. That it costs 3 less to cast, costs 2 less generic and 1 less blue if you cast an instant or sorcery this turn. When it enters the battlefield, scry 2. So, typical-ish Jeskai Feather Shell. We've tried some Jeskai Feather Shells in the past. The big thing that I'm notably doing different to try and make Stormwing Entity work in this configuration is we got 4 copies of Opt, which is generally speaking not a card that you see in Feather, but I think playing Opt so you can kind of play this as a 3-drop as like a blue 1 3-drop seems reasonable. Another sequence of plays is something that you can do with this deck is if you Opt on 1, you can Dreadhorde Arcanist on 2 and then attack with Arcanist on 3 and flash back Opt to allow you to easily cast Stormwing Entity on 3. I'm interested to see if it feels like this is a necessary additional threat. Flying is obviously very reasonable. Is there a borderless option on this one? That's a good question. No, of course there's not a borderless option. So let's go ahead and pop on into some matches here with this one and see how it goes. I think Cat Oven actually isn't that good in Historic, in large part due to how powerful Gruul is to a Smasher. So I think Gruul with Questing Beast and Embercleave, like this. I'm not Wizards of the Coast, right? I'm not arbitrarily banning things in Historic based on standard results. So like we're not having a standard open. And honestly, even looking at it, well, the Wilderness Reclamation and Teferi are more of a quality of life removal than a strict power level removal. Yeah, seems fine. I think I'm actually going to bottom a God's Willing here and keep the extra cantrips. Perfect. Okay, normally with a hand like this, I'd say we need to wait a turn so we can play this with Fight as 1-up, but I think based on the current board state, I'm far enough behind that I just have to hope they don't have a Domri's Ambush here. Okay, sweet. And then I think I'm gonna go ahead and God's Willing here. I'm gonna put on full control mode. I'm going to cast Reckless Rage. I want to target this, and then in response to my Reckless Rage, I want to give this protection from red. And I'm sequencing this way, so that way, what's the word I'm searching for? So that way, I get to keep the Fight as 1, because Fight as 1 is actually better than God's Willing in this matchup, because Fight as 1 works against Questing Beast, and it makes our creatures bigger. I also get a Scry one in here, which is nice, because remember, the way Reckless Rage is templated, you get the damage on their creature, even if your target's removed through protection like this. Time Lord, thanks for the 26 months. Scottish Reaver, thanks for 3/4 of a year. Hushman, checking in for 9 months as well. Roxer Boxer, long time I spent sub to anyone. Keep up the great content. Thanks for the 15 months. For people that are interested in how the sub-survey stuff went, I tweeted some stuff about it this morning. Still, for those that haven't filled it out yet, I'll keep collecting responses for the next few days. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and attack with this. Flashback, Defiant Strike. Reckless Rage is an absurd draw. It's a Scry 2. Value. Speaking of banning Nexus decks into the dirt, if you're someone that despises Nexus of Fate, based on the feedback of the sub-survey we had, we are going to be banning Wilderness Reclamation and Teferi from the next Hoaglandia Open. When you're cycling Strike and EOTs, you target their creature to avoid removal spell blocks. Yeah, that's good feedback, Wannabe Beetle. What do I want to cut here? God's Willing's kind of medium. I think we trim Opt here and bringing in Light of Hope as a way to gain some life and to be a proactive 1-mana play, shock as well. Go like that, I think. Just trade out some of our utility here at the bottom end of the curve. Bring in an extra removal spells. Ben Smith, thanks for the 8 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. So Melee does not support custom ban lists yet. But it'll be very clear on the sign-up page that we will be not allowing those cards in the tournament. And obviously, if anybody submits decks with them, they'll be removed from the event. So at some point, they plan to support custom ban lists, but it's pretty low down on their priority, they said, which is fine. It's like not that hard to self-regulate. This hand was kind of medium. Reckless Rage is an incredible draw. I think we'll probably lead on Dorat, so that way if they have a removal spell, we keep the better creature alive. Captain Zap Brannigan, thank you for the half a year support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Slewy, thanks for the 24 months. Welcome back. And remember, if you're a sub that wants to give feedback on the direction of the channel, if you like Runeterra, if you hate Runeterra, if you like the current standard format and want to see standard before rotation, if you hate the current standard format and don't want to see standard before rotation, all of those types of things, I'm collecting feedback on the sub surveys. Make sure you take a second and fill that out. It's not a Wizards of the Coast survey if you haven't filled one out before. It's like 5 or 6 questions. Will take you less than 3 minutes. Just a bunch of multiple choice things. Nerd Knight, thanks for the 5 months. Welcome back. Now I'm definitely playing 10th District Legionnaire. The question is, do I Reckless Rage and attack? Do I Reckless Rage and like play defense? I think I'm just passing. I'm gonna kill Pelt Collector, because if I kill Burning Tree Emissary, the Pelt Collector just gets bigger. Sadawachi survey, you won't spend 30 minutes filling it out to have your feedback ignored. Yep. Yep. Okay. This works out really well for us. This attack is pretty loose. Loose. Fight as one is great. I'm gonna cycle this to start and see what we get. Light of Hope. Huh. I'm gonna go ahead and Reckless Rage. Reckless Rage. Some things die while others feel the pain. Reckless Rage. Mr. Mock the Shock. Thanks for the 15 months. I appreciate it. Welcome back. Just gonna go ahead and gain 4 here. Doing well, Mr. Mark. Given the conditions under the country and, you know, world in which we live, we're doing quite well. Dead to a Stiff Breeze, need to draw something. This feels Magic Man. Let me Pikachu. Thanks for the 13 months. Welcome back. I think I'm happy with how I played there. I don't think there was much different we could do. Go ahead and click submit and run it back. Try and get the game on the play. Alright. This hand's not amazing, but definitely in the range of keepable. This might be a hand where, because we're on the play and we have Justice Strike, where we wait to deploy our threat till turn 3 so that we can protect it with Fight as One. I'm gonna go ahead and Justice Strike this. Their 3-drop is pretty likely to be a Spellbreaker, which I won't be able to Justice Strike this turn, so when I use my mana and slow them down, I think. Actually gonna leave this back on defense here. Yeah, you can always find out about the next Surglandia Open by typing exclamation point next open in my chat. I didn't want to block and use a combat trick here because there's a good chance my opponent has Bone Crusher or something like that in hand, and I just have so many tricks I don't want to let myself get blown out. So I'm just going to go ahead and pass back here. Well, it's a historic event, so you'll select historic. I'm going to lead on Defiant Strike here. Because if they have a stomp or something, I want them to use it in response. This just triggers whenever we cast a non-creature spell, right? Yep. So I'm just going to go ahead and gain 4 here. No, because your decks, the decks that you are playing in the open are still historic legal. We're not adding extra cards to the format. It's just historic without the 2 problem cards. And all that'll be detailed on the tournament page. We are going to savage them next turn with this Reckless Rage and Dreadhorde Arcanist. It's very possible that we want 4 Arcanist in this deck and only 3 Stormwing Entity, but I wanted to try to make sure that I had 4 copies of the new card to test it out so we could draw it. Do I want to give this a 1/1 counter, or do I want to gain some life? I think I want to give it a 1/1 counter. I mean, like, again, like, you're talking about it seems loose, but, like, do they really have a choice? Like, what's their alternative? They have to hope that I have nothing to win the game, right? They can't beat me having things. They're basically just like, you know, a lot of Magic, there's very little player agency. Your plays are scripted, and you basically just have to make them have it, because if they have it, you lose regardless. If they don't have it, you have a chance to win. So you're just in these positions where, like, it sucks when they do that and I have it, but they really don't have a better play. Got to Diamond 1 for the first time using the red-black control build. Hey, congrats, Thump! And thank you for the generous tier 3. Yeah, and actually, you know, if the Gruul decks are more popular, you know, decks like red-black can really keep up with the format, I think. Yarak Field is not a dumpster fire if, you know, Gruul's playable, etc., etc. We're gonna do a Moto day one day this week. I have a Belcher deck that someone submitted a while ago that I never made good on playing, and someone submitted Modern Burn, so I need to figure out when we're gonna do that. Probably do that Tuesday or Thursday. Baby. Thank you for the 3rd of the year. I appreciate that. Welcome back. We're just doing this. Because I don't think Growth Spiral or Breeding Pool need to necessarily be banned on power level in this format. And the point of banning Teferi and Wilderness Reclamation is more so for quality of gameplay and not power level. I think there's a very good chance that Teferi and Wilderness Reclamation are an appropriate power level for this format, but that doesn't mean they're fun to play with. It doesn't mean they're fun to play against. And I, unlike Wizards of the Coast, play Magic for fun. So if it's not fun, what the fuck's the point? Yeah, also, banning a Shockland is like, is pretty idiotic. Big agree with that. Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm not trying to ban, I'm trying to remove, like, so, like, just, like, for reference, like, when we've had opens in the past, I literally tell my wife, who's helping me pick feature matches, don't pick or don't pick Reclamation decks, specifically. So, like, you know, if I don't want them on coverage anyways, why let them be in the tournament? Shatter me, daddy. Shatter me. looks like we're dead. I think there's a chance that Boreal Grazer's too good. That was a little iffy. There's a reason why we're not banning that for the open. Stamp it. Thanks for the 17 months. We're close to killing them. No. Well, they're about to have 16 zombies in play. So, no, we're not close to killing them. I guess, do we think Reckless Rage? Oh, we can, God's willing, pass them, can't we? Okay, I'm picking up what you're putting down. Alright, I see you, chat. Are they dead? Yeah, you're right, we might actually be good because of Feather rebuying our thing. This is 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. They are actually exactly dead. We have 13. Because this is +3. Morning, Mr. Panda. Morning, thanks. Little bit of evasion in our lives, champ. Seeing the strength and flexibility there of both God's willing and fight as one, being able to both pump our things. Adanto Vanguard and Disdainful Stroke, definitely both great here. This is probably a Reckless Rage out matchup, right? Yeah, you want to do it all in the upkeep to let them know that you had it all already. Maybe trimming the ops is wrong, because then Stormwing Entity gets that much worse. Dispute for Teferi. I don't think so. I need to keep a certain number of proactive elements. Oh, you know what? They're a Teferi deck. Cutting Dreadhorde Arcanist against Teferi decks is fine. Maybe I leave, like, a shock in. Maybe I leave a couple of shocks in so I can kill random blockers, like we did that game. Arcanist isn't even just slow, he's just bad against Teferi. Teferi's part of the reason why I only have 3 of these in the deck. Hey, Dizzy B, thanks for the 7 months. I appreciate it. Welcome back. This is fine. I'm excited for them to play Teferi and for me to be stranded with 2 Disdainful Strokes I can't cast in my hand, but it is what it is. Welcome to the party, Disdainful Stroke. Nah, I think I'd rather have the card selection 10-ton hammer. That's why I went with Opt. Even with being slightly harder to cast, I think the card selection's important. I think I'm just supposed to hold up the Disdainful Stroke here, because if I play a second Dorat out and they untap and shatter me, I, like, lose the game on the spot, so I think with this many strokes, I'm supposed to just hang tight. Please cast something that costs 4 more mana. Did a mod delete my command from the other day? Damn it, mods. Don't delete my commands. Yay! Yeah! Yeah, that person should have left well enough alone. I left my command alone. Hey, Cameron, if you're resubbing, sometimes you have to refresh your browser page to send a notification through. Nah, that wasn't the command we used, Time Lord. I understand how the bot works. I was just trying that just in case I forgot. It's one of the best in the Magic community, thank you. Well, I don't know. Someone on Reddit said I was very mean. They were very upset that they got timed out, chat. Sometimes I forget how much privilege some people have. That like getting timed out is like the actual crimes against humanity to them. They are some salty folks. There's a subreddit that hates you. I mean, it's really not limited to one subreddit. They probably didn't get timed out as a kid. Yep. You can't take our First Amendment rights away. God bless. Alright, mods. Calm down. Calm down, mods. Cameron, thanks for the 2 months. Welcome back. Yes, yeah, there is also someone that in the current climate in which we live had a problem with my political opinions, which is, you know, probably says a lot about who they are as a person. So this is +4/+4 when we use it. Yep. Shadow Wolf, thanks for the brand new Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome. How do you answer the charge that by liberally banning people, you create an echo chamber, but while at the same time calling out Fox News for living in an echo chamber? Because my echo chamber is based in reality. The problem with Fox News isn't that Fox News is an echo chamber. The problem with Fox News is that they point blank lie and make stuff up. That's the problem with Fox News. The problem with Fox News is that they are claiming to be a news source while pointedly spreading misinformation and disinformation. That's the issue. This idea that you have to be fair and balanced and treat all things the same is just bullshit, because not all things are the same. I'm not telling people that COVID is a hoax, and I'm not telling people to not wear masks, and I'm not defending our narcissistic fascist president. Also, people don't deserve my time. They just don't. Believe it or not, people are not entitled to my time. My time is valuable. I have a wife. I have 3 kids. I work close to 80 hours a week most weeks. If some random dickhead on Twitter tweets something stupid at me, they don't get any more of my time. That's it. They've lost. Game over. Like, you want my time? You want me to read things that you tweet at me? Be respectful. Be reasonable. If you're not, you're not getting my time. It's just as simple as that. I'm not some big corporation. The reason why I moderate my spaces so well is because I actually care. I read every message on my YouTube channel. I read every post someone tags me in on Twitter. And you know what? I'm not able to do that and actually care if there's lots of random idiots tweeting dumb stuff at me all the time, wasting my time. My time is super valuable, and in order to give the most to the people who support me and are reasonable, I blot out all the noise. These people think that they're entitled to having my time, and they're not. Just plain and simple. They don't deserve it. Nobody deserves it. I get to pick and choose who I give my time to. It's my most valuable resource. I think I'm holding on to this to cycle for a little bit. I can't tell if that comment's sarcastic or not, but just to address it, because I think this is actually something that gets missed a lot of time, people are like, well, you know, you should try and save everyone, or, you know, you shouldn't write people off. Why is it my job and my responsibility to help idiots become better people? I am not morally obligated to help other people better themselves. I'm not. It would be great if I was independently wealthy and had all the time in the world, and I could just sit there and try and help people understand that they're supporting fascism or they're spewing nonsense all day. But I'm not independently wealthy, and my time is valuable. I need to prioritize what I do with my time. Yeah, exactly, Fair and Breakboard. I think a huge mistake that people make is giving people your time that are not having a discussion in good faith. And in an effort to cut out people that are intentionally acting in bad faith, I almost assuredly miss some good faith people that could be reached. Definitely could reach some people who I don't. But I also, like, I'm not obligated to do that. It's not my job. Yeah, that too, right? Like, you know? Yeah, exactly, right? And like, why does random idiot 257 with an anime avatar and 3 followers on Twitter, why should I give them my time, right? Like, they don't deserve it. They won't even put their name in their face to the stupid message they're tweeting at me. Their message doesn't deserve a response. There's no accountability. Hey, Niv, thanks for the sub gifty. Alright, do I bottom the second 10th district or do I bottom the opt? I think I bottom the opt, so that way I can play a 10th district on 2, and if it dies, I have a backup. Yeah, you know, honestly, as someone who, between 2018 and now, pretty much cut all of the Trumpers out of his life that couldn't be reached, like, I often wonder, would we not be in the position my country is currently in, failing to contain COVID, if more people had told these science-denying bigots that what they believe isn't okay and isn't realistic and isn't grounded in reality? Like, if everybody out there who at family Thanksgiving or Christmas told that racist uncle, hey, this isn't okay, instead of rolling their eyes and agreeing to disagree, maybe the world would be in a different place right now. Maybe the United States wouldn't be about to fail the first wave of, Oh, you know what? I probably should have Reckless Raged first, so that way I could have had 2 Scry 1s before drawing. Yeah, my sequencing here was bad. I could have had this Glacial Fortress and play this turn. Blind, fair, and balanced favors the unreasonable position. Yep. Could not agree more. Thanks, BT Doy. I appreciate your support. Let's get your sword to go with that shield. I also just like to think that all the people out there that are super salty about who I am and how I manage my stuff, that, you know, the message is that, like, I'm bad at my job and stuff like that, or I'm not actually good at what I do. It's like, those people would probably roll over if they knew, you know, I'm sure they don't. I've mentioned this before, but like, I'm one of, if not the most subscribed to Magic the Gathering streamer on Twitch. And of course, those people have such incredible biases that, like, they don't know that reality. I'm sure they can't put that together. Probably about a week before, Thump.
I will not lose another friend.
Correct. New viewer count's mostly worthless. It's nice to think about, but ultimately doesn't pay the bills. Think I'm keeping God's Willing here, so this way I can kill Karn. And hey, look, I was gonna scry during my upkeep so I could try and draw a land tier, but Magic Arena decided that that wasn't gonna be allowed, so thanks, Magic Arena. Alright, they found a Platinum Angel against my Reckless Rage deck, which is an interesting decision. How many subs does Groki's average? So, sub metrics technically aren't public facing, but like, for instance, Groki's tweeted during the last sub release that he spiked up to 2,000 concurrent subscribers, and that was an all-time high for him. And like, My current subscriber count is 2788. And I've been consistently in the 2,500 to 3,000 range for the better part of the last year and a half. I'd have to look back exactly what the time frame is, but it's been about a year and a half that I've been around that mark. Can we kill them here through the zombie blockers again with God's willing? I think we can. H-Bombs, thanks for the Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome to Oglandia. Thanks for keeping me around. So we're at 13. Defiant Strike is +2. This is +2. This is +1. Oh, I guess I need to flash back God's willing, though, right? To get both of these through. So this is 7. They don't have any life gain lands here, so that's great. I think I'm actually scrying this to the bottom now, because Feather's not going to be relevant. So we're going to go ahead and God's willing here. And then, before we draw again here, I'm going to go ahead and fight as one. So this is going to be 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I need to draw a Defiant Strike here, or a fight as one. Fight as one, I believe, is lethal, right? Because this is 10, this will be 11, this is 12, 13. We have exactly 13 again here. Because this is going to flash back God's willing. God's willing to make this pro-black. Hey, Bombs, thanks for taking the time to hook up that Prime. I appreciate it. We're gonna try out the new M21 one drop in Soul Siblings today. So I'm interested to see how that feels. Really seeing some of the strength of our archetype. This is our second time through beating Escape Shift deck after they Escape Shift us, which is pretty sweet. Maybe I don't want Vanguard here. They might not be a sweeper deck. Yeah, the one that makes angels. Yeah, we haven't seen Stormwing at all. That's not true. We played it during Grawl in the first match, and they died. Why are the cards burning if you mouse over them? Because there is a feature that's been present in Magic Arena for a number of patches now. Oh, this was Platinum Angel guy, yeah. Platinum Angel opponent. Maybe I should leave Reckless Rage in. There is a feature in Magic Arena that your opponent's sleeve animation appears on your cards that are borderless during sideboarding. Magic Arena is all about those surprise features, right? Big agree with that. I think Wizards of the Coast does not nearly enough of the time leverage things that they could leverage in their digital platform. I think something like an experimental queue is quite the good idea. This is our opponent's 4th turn, right? They have 10 lands in play on turn. Have I missed a land drop? Can anybody go back and check? I don't think I missed a land drop yet, right? Turn 4, they have 10 lands in play. Got it. I'm gonna give this pro black. The way Feather and Arcanist interact is the way we want them to. So this God's Willing is gonna come back to my hand. And actually, with Dryad of the Ilson Grove in their deck too, I probably should leave Reckless Rage in instead of the shocks I boarded in. And maybe I should have kept that 4th land with Dorat in hand. See, they can throw away a zombie to hit me for 9 here, which is probably a good exchange for them. They're fielding me. Yep, makes sense. All right, so I can take 5 attackers. So that means they have 6, 7, 8, 9. So I need to leave 4 blockers back here. And then hopefully we can kill them next turn in the air. You had lethal, I think. I don't have anything this can flash back. Last turn I had 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then this would be 3 is 11, 12, 13. So now I only have 13 damage last turn. Don't think. No. Oh, did I miscount too? Ah, shoot. I miscounted. That's fine. I didn't have lethal anyways. Yeah, I miscounted. That's right. We were dead regardless. We were dead regardless. If I don't shock in the land, I have 1 less blocker. So it's a wash. Yeah, I mean, their start was very good. I don't know if they were, like, strictly the nuts. Like, they had Field of the Dead, but, like, they didn't really have an ideal payoff. Dorian's really sweet. If you haven't seen the Jeskai tempo deck that's up on the website on the historic page, that's definitely, I think, probably my favorite Dorian deck in the format. I think I just play this out and hope they can't kill it this turn. I think I put Disdainful Stroke down for one turn here since I have Fight as One and God's Willing up. That's pretty punishing. Wow! And they have another Fabled Passage. Oh, yeah, it's fine. Magic sucks. If we just, like, had a land this game, we'd easily win here. But instead, we bricked off. If we'd had a land, we would have been able to Disdainful Stroke this. Alright. So you're saying there's a chance. Take a chance on me. Do-do-do-do-do. Nah, you're fine, Clay. Take care of yourself out there. Stay safe. Great. Turns out being lucky. Lucky some ways, unlucky others. One of the key things, I think, to helping people gain statistical literacy is trying to give students tools, or people tools in general, so they understand, so they present them with data that where the data is accurate and factual, but the way in which you present the data initially allows you to push a message that ends up not being true. Because that's the way data is most misused, I think, and misunderstood in the modern world in which we live. What's the old saying? Statistics don't lie, but liars love statistics. I believe is how it goes. And just like, that statement couldn't be closer to the truth. It's just like... Yeah, there's a lot of good examples out there, Brannigan. Trying to focus on, like, you know, something we talk about quite regularly in the Magic community is, you know, that mantra of correlation is not causation. And, like, well, we know what that means. Like, there's a reason why we talk about that, right? I can prove anything with statistics except the truth. Will they have few enough zombies that Reckless Rage can set? I don't remember if they sacrificed 8 lands or 7. 1, 2, 3, 4... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So they're only getting 7 more zombies here. So I think Reckless Rage is big. So 7 lands versus 8 is huge for Scapeship, because a 7 land Scapeship makes 7 zombies, but an 8 land Scapeship makes 16 zombies, which is a huge differential. Dorat. I don't know if that's exactly lethal, but it should be close enough. Turn it off. Oh, don't want to do this again because this will die. Almost made Noopsie. So if I Reckless Rage 2 of these, they'll have 12, 13, and then I have lethal next turn. This gives them a window to be able to kill my threat, though. Maybe I just attack with Dorat. Neither of my things are human, so I can't double fight as one. Yeah, this is 4, and this would be 5, 6, 7, 8, so I'm 1 short that way. I can kill 1 here, attack for 2, and then block and still have a protection spell up here, which is great. And then we can plan to kill them next turn. They only have 1 draw here. Ugh. Is that lethal? They get to go land, Dread Presence. No, it's not quite lethal, right? Because I can block plus Reckless Rage, so they're 2 short. I believe they're 1 or 2 short here still. Because they can shock this in, play Dread Presence, and then they attack me. I'm gonna take 10, 11, and then this will deal 2 more, so that's 13. Yeah, they're one short here. They had exact season game 2, and they're 1 short this game. Really, really close match. Did I not target Dorat? It's fine, it doesn't matter. I think you're right in autopilot and clicking on Feather. It doesn't matter, but you're right. I should have targeted Dorat, technically. The old Throne of Eldraine pack. Is this from the Mastery system? Am I getting Eldraine packs from the M21 Mastery? Seriously? Why is that a thing? Take my half off Dominaria pack, work this up. I also don't think I have full playsets. Yeah, actually missing some Dominaria cards, because Dominaria was a set before they implemented 4X protection. I bought it. We may or may not dip back into standard on this stream before rotation. That's something that I'm still collecting. If you're a sub that hasn't done the survey and you have strong feelings on whether or not you'd like to see some standard before rotation in the fall, that's definitely one of the votes that's been pretty close so far with the information I've been collecting. Pull up the Google form to share that throughout the course of today's stream. Yes. Actually, a lot of people who are largely indifferent, so probably 41% are largely indifferent, slightly more yes than no. Just putting as much power into play as quickly as possible here. Hoping to run them down. Cute. We're the bad guy, chat. I'm the bad man. Do 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 do. You decided to play standard best of 3 yesterday and played against only Bant and Simic Ramp. Yeah. In a two-party system, if you vote different, you vote for... That's true. That is accurate. I'm just gonna cast this again now because it powers up my Dorat and I get it back at end of turn. No reason not to spend my mana to pump my Dork. Any spell that targeted would have been lethal there. Unfortunately, didn't find any. We're a couple points short here. Angry Land, thanks for the 20 months. Nope, it's all handled automatically, Bombs. Although if you did just subscribe this morning, it can take a little bit to sync. The server syncs my subscriber list every hour and a half to 2 hours or so. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, like you're right that there's been a ton of Field of the Dead so far today. Which is, opponents probably on the Diamond 4 rank floor just trying to have a good time. Can respect that. Are we gonna accident our way into Mythic again? I was pretty resigned to not being Mythic this season, but Feather might drag us up there kicking and screaming. It's really an accident if you get it every month, something like that. Can I keep this? I think the answer is no, because I'm missing double white. I think if one of these Steam Vents made white mana, I'd keep this speculatively on the draw with an opt, but I think because my mana's awkward, even if I hit a threat, this is a mulligan. Yeah, this is fine. Want him an opt. Booker is ahead of McGrath by less than 500 votes. We get a final count on that tomorrow, right? Opponent definitely playing something of a brew here. Probably just playing, like, a colorless artifacts deck that just, like, had a bunch of different lands. They decided to jam Field of the Dead because. Mostly just looking for threats here. The question is, do they have a way to tempo my Feather here? Or is it going to get to take over with Reckless Rage? Perfect. Hello, Jacob. What's up, dude? Yes, Jacob. You found a volcano? In Minecraft. That's really cool. Pretty cool. Why don't you get Declan and show Declan? Good idea. Reckless Rage. Some things die while others feel the pain. Reckless Rage. So we'll put a stop on our end step here, so that way after, that sounds great. So that way after I get the Reckless Rage back, we can kill the other Steel Overseer before they get to untap with it and make it a 5/5. Did another update? I think there was some kind of update. The menus look different recently when I was poking through them for them. Alright, so this game is probably over. Stormcrow got a power up, yep. Yep, they're likely an Ugin deck, but they should die before they get there, right? This is gonna flip next turn, so that'll be 3, 4, 5, 6. I believe they only have 7 mana this turn, and then post-board we'll get Disdainful Strokes in our deck. As a viewer, someone who consistently values their base's feeling and thoughts on content's terrific. Happy to fill out the survey last night. Thanks for taking the time to do that, Shaw. I appreciate it.
My presence alone guide you towards victory.
Alright, so they're dead to known information. Maget, thanks for the 16 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around.
Be gone, interloper.
You know, they say Ugin's ineffable, but feels like he's about to get effed by my my 10th District Legionnaire. Definitely want Disdainful Stroke here. Is this a Reckless Rage matchup? They had Steel Overseer, which makes me think they probably have other cheap artifact creatures. I think I'm just going to go ahead and trim the ops again. It's kind of filler that I've been cutting out post-board. And I think that's fine. Let's give this a go. They play Mystic Forge. Not that we saw. See some people in chat using the next open command. The next open is going to be on July 18th. I think we're going to open signups for that about a week out from the event. This might be too slow, but I'm going to keep it and find out. See if I live if I draw 1 or 2 more lands, I'm going to regret playing this out. But I think for now, I wouldn't mind getting to 5 mana total. That is a phenomenal draw. Based on feedback from the sub-survey last night, we are going to be house rule banning both, we're going to be house banning both Wilderness Reclamation and Teferi in the upcoming open. What's the reasoning behind opening up signups in a week unlike the other events? I want to have 256 players in this open. I don't want this open to have a bunch of people drop out at the last minute. Like we've had in the last few. So I'm hoping that both opening signups a little bit later and requiring a small entry fee will help discourage people from dropping. If they have Ugin, I think we're dead regardless. So I think I'm just going to keep Dorat to try and kill them in the air next turn. Hey, Cliff Jumper, thank you for the brand new Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome to Oglandia. Thanks for keeping me around. They only have 2, 6, 7 mana this turn, so they should be dead next turn. Yeah, having a bunch of flying creatures has been real sweet here. Evasion is nice. Hey, Isaac. Thanks for the 10 months. I appreciate it. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. You want Luris over Feather? No, I don't think I want to cut Feather from my deck full of cards that target my things that I get to recast. So I think one thing I am going to change here before we play the last match or two is Stormwings felt fine, but Dreadhorde Arcanist is still very good and powerful in this archetype. So I think I'm going to switch this 3-4 in the other direction. I only started with 4 Stormwing entities because I wanted the chance to draw it a little bit more consistently, but I think having 12 2-drops to play out on 2 is pretty important. So I think I'm going to just make that small change. And one thing I'm going to make clear when we do the open too, I want people to understand this because it's a deviation from what Wizards does historically speaking. I'm not convinced that Teferi and Wilderness Reclamation need to be removed from Historic from a pure power level perspective, but I also think there's way more to what should go into managing a Magic format than just power level. I think both Teferi and Wilderness Reclamation create miserable gameplay patterns, and removing those miserable patterns from our community tournament sounds like a worthwhile endeavor to me. They've banned cards for exactly that reason before. Not really. They've banned cards because they created tournament delays. They've not really banned cards, to my knowledge, because the games of Magic they create suck. If you know an example of them doing that historically and them talking about it, please link it in chat. But like Sensei's Divining Top and Eggs, for example, those are cards that are banned because of the types of play patterns they create. No, second Sunrise was due to logistical time restraints inside of tournaments. Yes, the cards we intend to ban will be secondary to everything else that's already banned in the format. So, like, it will be everything else that's currently banned in Historic will still be banned. Okay, cool. Those are good examples. Mycosynthelatus and like, honestly, that honestly makes me more frustrated with Wizards of the Coast hearing that, because the fact that, like, sometimes they randomly acknowledge that they should adjust things based on quality of gameplay, and then other times they just don't. Something I've talked about at length on stream before is Wizards' lack of consistency with how they manage their ban lists is quite frustrating. Teferi must have dirt on Watsy Putin style. Seems likely.
After 1,000 years, I'm getting the hang of this.
Oh, that's sweet. There's a little animation here, all these drawn cards. I could definitely get into trouble with this play here, but I feel like I need extra value here, and if they have a removal spell, I'm kind of just screwed regardless, so. So they'll get to use this again, pushing it to 5, but my op's gonna push Dorat to 2, so we'll kill this inside of combat. Yes, if Teferi hasn't activated, he can phase my stuff out.
I'll just come back yesterday.
I'll just come back yesterday. That's a great voice line for him. If they have an exile effect here, I could get into trouble. If they have double removal, I could get into trouble. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm far enough ahead with both of these that I'm not supposed to play this out aggressively here. I could see that. Because I'm just far enough ahead. They didn't have a removal spell last turn, though, so this means they'd need 2 removal spells to punish me here. But it's possible if they drew runner removal, because they did loot with Teferi on my turn. What would you recommend as a starting point to learn Runeterra as someone who's never played a TCG other than Hearthstone for a couple seasons in Magic? The in-game tutorial is great, Chewy. Yeah, just load it up, and it takes you through a mandatory first couple that you have to play through, and then even once you do the first couple that it makes you do to get a feel for it, there's also subsequent ones that you can do to earn experience to get prizes from. Did we disconnect? I haven't had we disconnected and not know it for a while, so I think they're disconnected. We'll find out. Usually as long as their timer's going down, you're okay. If their timer hits nothing and doesn't disappear, that usually means you're the one disconnected. Hey, thanks for the tier 3, and yeah, I really appreciate it. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. I feel like disconnecting when I play Grixis too. Alright, they're back. So maybe they had an actual disconnection. Maybe their doorbell rang. Maybe their kid knocked over their drink. You know. So we got away with it last turn. Should I God's Willing again? Maybe. Maybe. How's the Prowess Bird been? Passable? I think I save Feather rather than Dorat here. Sorry, little pet. Yeah, get the ones with bonus XP to 12. Let's get our Scry one on. Do we get an anthology between here and Zendikar? We don't, but we're getting Jumpstart and Amonkhet Remastered. So the next open will be after Jumpstart releases. Jumpstart releases on Arena on the 16th. This is lethal, assuming they have nothing, but I feel like I shouldn't assume they have nothing. Is there a reason to make them have it here? I feel like there's not, right? What would they have to have? They need to have, like, Ritual of Soot plus a counterspell next turn to punish me? I don't really think there's a reason to push it here. I'm gonna shock this in case they have a soft counter of some sort. They could Ashiok plus removal. No, because if they Ashiok, I God's willing it. So they need Ashiok, removal, second removal. Yeah, and Ashiok plus removal plus second removal leaves us with another threat. Ooh, that's true. They could have land Ugin here as a potential way to punish us. That's a real card controlling to be playing as a finisher at their top end now. They have Vraska's Contempt here. Counter target spell. Counter target activated ability. Return an on-land permanent to its owner's hand. Target player draws a card. Okay. Myth Carrion, thanks for 17 months. I appreciate it. Welcome back. I have a sweet. I'm gonna kill you now. Don't shock or disfigure me, please. Good chat, good chat. Truly the perfect pet. They had a lot of modes. Alright, definitely a Disdainful Stroke Mystic Dispute matchup. Reckless Rage gets to come out. Adanto Vanguard sounds good. It's just another matchup where I trim Opt, probably. I'm gonna trim a couple Dreadhorde Arcanists, actually. Let's see that. Mystic Dispute may or may not be good here. I might trim Mystic Dispute when we're on the play for game 3. Hey, Ruffio, thanks for the brand new Prime Sport. I appreciate that. Welcome to Oglandia. Thanks for keeping me around. Happy Blur's Day, everybody in chat. Is it Monday? What not Blur's Day is it? They all just kind of run together. It is Monday, right? Huh? I feel like the fact that they didn't make textless versions of Very Cryptic Command was a big miss. I know that the different versions have different Oracle text, but I really feel like in addition to the different versions having different Oracle text, they should have also made a textless version. And like the textless version would just be you could pick 2 modes from all of the non-textless versions together. I think I'm gonna lead on this. Ads are scary. LaCarp, thanks for the 13 months. Welcome back. Huh? I'm gonna go with no on that. Well, I guess I don't like really know what I'm looking for. Defiant Strike. We'll take a Defiant Strike. Maybe I shouldn't attack with this here because I'm only getting in 1 point of damage with it. Ritualist, so it's the best possible play for us here. I'm gonna throw away this Dreadhorde Arcanist to attack them for some extra damages here. Durant, the perfect pet. Yeah, I think I'm actually in for that.
I'll just make one up.
Man, this card is super frustrating. He just like phase out anything we do. It's pretty peak Teferi. I guess we're gonna probably force a block here at least. Let's see if they phase out Legionnaire to save their Nicol Bolas or not here. Yep. Yep, we also don't have to worry about them killing this till our next turn, which is nice. Big agree. At which point they're going to need to chump block it or have an exile effect. Okay. Probably going to see them... Oh, I was going to say I'm going to see them bounce this, but they can't bounce it because it's phased out. Yeah, the auto tapper really does not like tapping seabeds. Actually, I'm gonna let this trigger resolve before we do anything because I'm gonna get to scry here. The phase out effect is super clean. Big agree. Oh gosh. I'm not drawing this anyways, right? I'm gonna bottom that. We're kind of just looking for other threats and cheap spells at this point. Alright, both their things die. They're going to be able to phase something with Teferi again, though, on our next turn, which is unfortunate. And Ashiok's going to make another blocker. So they're going to get to, like, chump 10th District with Ashiok, phase Dorat. I think another protection spell is exactly what we're looking for here. I think ideally we would have liked a God's Willing to protect from Teferi's down tick, but second fight is one should hopefully allow us to push lethal here. They're going to need some kind of exile effect. Conan probably should have responded to our opt here, because now they're dead. So they can phase one of these at a time, but the other one kills them. The old 20 volume. They also could have done that on their turn and not worried. Yeah, I suppose. That's true. This actually felt pretty okay. And honestly, so I've kind of like, if you followed my content in the past, you can go back and look at us trying some Jeskai feather shells before. And I was always kind of whelmed on... the blue splash, but Opt actually felt really good in this set today. So Feather is an archetype that often experiences what we refer to as the wrong half problem in Magic, which is that you're a deck that really needs to find a threat and some of your spells to go with your threat, and if you draw too many creatures or too many spells, generally speaking, your deck can struggle a bit to get going. And Opt really smooth that out. Opt basically gives you more virtual copies of every card in your deck. And that's kind of exactly what this archetype is looking to do. Being able to dig for creature when we need creatures, dig for spells when we need spells, having another good proactive card to flashback with Dreadhorde Arcanist felt super reasonable. 10th District and Feather paired with, the various protection spells felt good as always. Now, I don't really think there's any other good prowess creatures to try in the deck. We didn't cast Stormwing Entity a ton, but the times it did show up, it felt very reasonable. Having, 11 evasive threats to close the game out felt very good. There were a number of games against Field of the Dead, for example, where we stole games because we had flying creatures and God's Willing. Seemed pretty reasonable. Yeah, maybe, I don't know. I feel like Kiln Fiend is a little bit more all in that I'm interested in being in this archetype. Yeah, the mana base felt pretty smooth. And honestly, Opt is another card that helps your mana work out pretty consistently. We have 15 blue in this configuration. If you look at my mana, the thing we're kind of light on is red. And the fact that we have the Jeskai Triome went a long way towards smoothing out our mana too. Something we've talked about with Naya Feather a lot is I really wish that deck had a Triome, and having Triome goes a long way towards making your 3-color mana base a lot more consistent. All right, I'm going to hit a quick ad roll while I get everything set up and flipped over for the next one. When we get back, we are going to try some Soul Siblings featuring some Speaker of the Heavens here from M21. So I'm going to go ahead and hit a quick ad roll. We'll be back in just a few. Thanks for hanging out today, folks. Don't go anywhere.